praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa Abba. So this is 2 Maccabees chapter 15, verse 34. So every man prays toward the heaven the glorious Lord, saying, Blessed be he that hath kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord. And who is this? This was Judas Maccabeus. All right, he took Nicanor's head and his shoulder. Tells you here, verse 30, and Judas, which is known as the Maccabee, he was one of the Maccabees, which Maccabees means hammer, right? It says, and Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, who continued his love toward his countrymen, all his life commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder and bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there and called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower and showed them vile Nicanor's head in the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags, meaning he boasted himself, he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. And this is happening today, all right, by the Edomites, all right, because Nicanor was a general in the Seleucid army, which was under Antioch, which he passed away by this time. And that's why you had Nicanor doing the bidding of the king, the Greek king, right? So these were Greeks, which eventually became Romans, which now are today the so-called Caucasians, all right? America, the whore that rides the beast, and the European Union being the beast, which they have NATO, the teeth of the beast, all right? But the Lord is going to allow these devils to rouse up, and then they're going to be fighting against the Lord. It says in Revelation 17, verse 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Right? So the Lord is going to fight for us. And who's going to make war against us, make war against the Lord? It's those Edomites, which were Greeks, Romans, Spaniard, French, British, German, American. All right? It says, and the 10 horns, verse 12. Forgive me. It says in verse 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet. Talking about that European Union. The 10 horns are the 10 kings of the European Union. But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast, right? Which they're going to make that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling. It tells you right here, verse 16, and the 10 horns, those 10 kings of the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The whore is America. And shall make war, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh, through his son Yahushai, have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall be fulfilled. So, same thing. In this generation, these heathen think that they could overcome the Israelites being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. In fact, they say that they can pretty much wipe the earth of the memory of Israel. It says in Psalms 83, verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they want to come after the elect, the prophets. For they have consulted together with one consent, just like in the past. The heathen were confederate with the so-called white race, which are the Edomites, right? And these heathen want to come against the Israelites. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Edomites are the so-called Caucasians, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, these are Arabs of the continent of Asia, like the Afghani. It says, and the Hagarenes, which are Hagarnis, which goes back to another form of Ishmael, Gabal, which is Esau, and Ammon, the Japanese, and Amalek, the counterfeits that are in our land, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, the Africans. It says, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the sons of Lot, Selah. But the Lord's going to fight them, just like we read, and they're going to be burnt with fire, because whoever comes against the Israelites, right, you're going to end up in that fire, whether it's in the fire of the chariot, which the Lord's going to burn you up because you're gathered up in the valley of Jehoshaphat as an army, a military of this beast system, or you take the implantable microchip and you're here in America. The Lord's going to melt you. It says in Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. See? So the Lord's going to burn them. America is going to be turned into a lake of fire, eventually a memorial of the judgment that the Lord had decreed to be fulfilled against the ungodly, the wicked, the so-called Caucasian, which once again, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to die here also because they reject the truth. All right? And the ones that are going to fight against us, being those nations, those other nations, there's no hope for them. They're going to be melted here, or they're going to be melted in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which you can read about it in 2 Ezra 13. All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rikakodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom. Blah, blah, blah.